Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music. I want to talk about how you can play a song by Neon Trees called Sleeping with a Friend. And it starts out with this really cool little intro lick. And if you wanted to follow those notes, you could start 7 on the high E, 7 on the B, 5 on the high E, 7 on the B, 7 on the G, 7 on the B, back to the G on the 7, B string on the 7, B string on the 8, and then we go to the 7th fret on the B twice, and then 7 on the G. So you got kind of a 7, 7, 5, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 8, 7, 7, 7, or B, F sharp, A, F sharp, B, F sharp, D, F sharp, G, F sharp, D. It's kind of that intro lick. And the bass line that kind of backs that up starts on 3rd fret on the low E string for kind of a G note, and then we go to open D, and then we go to open A, and then we go back to the 3rd on the low E, open D, and then open A, and then we go to 2nd on the A, and then open A. So kind of going G, D, A, G, D, A, B, A. And you can kind of back that up with chords by starting on a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger goes to A 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the low E string 3rd fret, 3rd finger on the high E string 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, it sounds a G major chord and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about putting the 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of working that for your G major. Or you may dig on kind of a power chord idea where you can do 1st finger on the low E 3rd, 3rd finger on the A string 5th, and kind of work that as a G5 power chord. And then from the G we go to a D major chord where we play D major. First finger goes to the G 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the high E 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd fret. And if you strum the D string to the high E string, that sounds like D major and it sounds really happy. Now you may also want to think about lifting off the 2nd finger and making that a D suspended 2nd, or adding in the pinky on the high E for a D sus and kind of saying some stuff around D chords. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could use just the D and the A string, or D and the G string, it's a D and an A note, to make a D5 power chord. Or you could take 1st finger to A string 5th, 3rd finger on the A string 7, or D string 7. So kind of 5 and 7 on the A and D for a D5. And then from the D5, we'd be going to an A major chord when we play A major. First finger goes to the D 2nd fret, 2nd finger on the G 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the B string 2nd fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord and it sounds really happy. And around the A, you may want to think about lifting off the 3rd finger, making that an A suspended 2nd, or adding in the pinky on the B string 3rd for an A sus and kind of saying some stuff around the A. Or you could use an A5 power chord where you use just the A and the D string of that chord. Or you could take the 1st finger to the low E 5th fret, 3rd finger on the A string 7th fret for an A5, and kind of work it that way. And then from there we almost kind of repeat that, kind of G, D, A. But then that B note we can back up a couple different ways. We could use it as a B minor chord when we play B minor. Normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar. We'll talk about some easier options too. But then 2 on the B string 3rd, 3rd finger on the D string 4th, pinky on the G string 4th. And strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord and sounds really sad. Or you may want to think about lifting off the pinky and making that a B minor 7 chord. Or another way to play B minor 7 is to do 1st finger on the A string 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the high E 2nd for kind of a B minor 7. Or if you kind of dig on that G major voicing, you could do 1st finger on the A 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B string 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd for kind of a B minor 7. And randomly, actually, for the A, to go back to it, you may want to use something called an A7 sus, where you do 1st finger on the D 2nd, 2nd finger on the G 2nd, 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, kind of work that for your A chords too. So all together, you got kind of a G idea, D, A, G, D, A, B, A. So it's kind of weird. You're kind of thinking 4 downs on G, 4 on D, and then 8 on A, and then kind of a 4 down on G, 4 down on D, 4 on the A, but then 2 on B minor, 2 on A. So that B minor A is really quick at the end. You may want to ignore it and just stay on A. So you could work downstrokes through that part, or a lot of times I like to use something called a strum pattern. And one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So you took the G and just tried that a lot. You'd have down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. So the weird part is our chords that are halving. So for the G, D to start off with, you may want to do just a down, down up of the pattern on that, and then do the whole pattern on the G, down, down, up on the D. And if you want to get that B minor hit in, you can do the A with a down, down, up, and then go to the B minor for a down, A for a down. So you got G, down, D, down, A, G, down, D, down, A, down, B minor, A, G, down, D, down, A, G, down, D, down, A, down, B minor, A, for kind of that intro part, which becomes our chorus. Or another strum pattern that I would think about using through the song is something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're dividing it into two parts with our down, down, up, down, up. So 1, 2, 1, 2, that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you divide that into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And one of my favorite 16th note strum patterns is a long down, 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 up, down, down, up, down. And what I mean by that is if you take the G and do a down for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you'd be doing on the first beat. Then on the second beat, you do it down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And then on the third beat, you do it up on 2, down on 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, up, down, 1, up, down, 1, up, down. And then on the last beat, you go down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up. So all together, you got down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. So the weird part is applying that to kind of our intro chorus. So through the G, you could do kind of a down, down, down up of the strum pattern. D, you can do that same idea, down, 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 up. And we'd have the A with our whole pattern. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Then we have the G and the D, kind of doing that down, 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 up. And if you want to get the B minor hit in, you could do the A with a down, 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 up, and go to the B minor for a down, down, up, and then the A for down, down, up. So all together, you got G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, G, down, 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 up, D, down, down, up, A, down, down, up, B minor, A, G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, G, down, down, up, D, down, down, up, A, B minor, A. And then from that intro and our kind of intro chorus, we go into our verse part, which kind of mixes up a lot of those things. Actually, we start on kind of our G for an 8 count, and then we do our G for 4, D for 4, and then our A for 8, and then we do the A B minor idea that we were doing earlier. So G, G 2 3 4, D 2 3 4, A 2 3 4, B for 2, A for 2, or you could do the down, down, up, down, up, and have G. Or you could use your 16th pattern. Have the G, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, D, A, B minor, A. And we do that progression 3 times, and then the last time through, we got kind of our G with our whole pattern. G and D half, but then we do a whole measure on the B minor and a whole measure on the A. So that's a little weird if you're doing down, down, up, down, up. That last time through, you'd have G, G down, down, up, D, down, up, B minor, A. Or if you're doing your 16th, you'd have G, into our chorus part. Now, one other thing I think about adding to the song is bass notes, and a lot of times on that first down of the down, down, up, down, up, you can throw a bass note in for the chord. So on the G, you'd have low E for the bass. On the D, you'd have the D for the bass. On the A, you'd have the A for the bass. And on the B minor, you have the A for the bass. So we tried our chorus with basses. So not a whole lot of time with bass down, up, down, up, but you got G with the bass, down, D with the D bass, down, A with an A bass, down, up, down, G with the Louis bass, D with the B bass, A with an A bass, B minor, A, G, D, A, G, D, A, B minor, A. Or if you're doing your 16th pattern, you could kind of work it as kind of a bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, or bass, bass, down, down, up, bass, down, up, down, are all cool variations. And you could work the G with a bass, down, down, up, D with a bass, down, down, up, A with the whole pattern, and then we have a G with a Louis bass, D with a D bass, and then we can do the A with a bass, down, down, up, and then when you hit that B minor A hit, you can do a bass, down, up, bass, down, up, on that part. So you have G, D, A, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, D, A, G, D, A, B minor, A. And then from that chorus, then we repeat that 3 times, and then, or 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 times, and then we go into our verse part again. So we try adding basses to our verse. We can do that with a bass, down, up, down, up, and have G, G. Oh. So then if we tried adding basses to our verse, we have the G with Louis bass, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, D, and then we'd have a whole pattern on that last B minor, our last A. Or if you're digging on the 16th bass pattern, you'd have the G, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, G, A, B minor, A, and then the last time we have the whole pattern on the G, G, D, and then we got our B minor with our whole pattern, and our A with the whole pattern. And then from there, they'll be going into our next chorus. And you may want to try and mix these ideas up too, kind of G, D, A, G, D, A, B minor, A, G, D, A, there's lots of different ways you can kind of play around with it, kind of see what you can say with it too. And then that last time through, then we hit our bridge part. And on the bridge, we go to an E minor chord. When we play E minor, first finger goes to the A 2nd fret, second finger on the D 2nd fret, and if you strum all those together, that sounds like an E minor chord, and it sounds really sad. Or another thing you can do for the E minor is add in the 3rd finger on the B 3rd, pinky on the high E 3rd, make it an E minor 7. Or if you're digging on the power chord idea, you could even work just the E and the A string of that for an E5 power chord. Or you could put the 1st finger on the D7, 3rd finger on the A7, 3rd finger on the D9, and kind of work that for your E5 power chord. And then from the E minor, we go to a G major chord, and then we go to our A major chord, and then we go to an F sharp minor chord. I have some easy options here too. But normally you do this as a 2nd fret bar, 3rd finger on the A 4th fret, pinky on the D string 4th fret. If you strum all those together, that makes an F sharp minor chord. Now you could think about lifting off the pinky and kind of making an F sharp minor 7. Or if you're new to bar chords, you could do just the top few strings and kind of make a smaller F sharp minor 7. Or you could use an F sharp 5 where you do 1st finger on the low E 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the A string on the 4th fret, and kind of work just those 2 notes for the F sharp. Or you might want to think about using something called D sus/F sharp, where you do first finger on the low E second fret, second finger on the G second, third finger on the B third, pinky on the high E third. Kind of working that for the F sharp minor. And then from the F sharp minor, we go back to our E minor, back to our G major, and then we end on an A major chord, and we almost do kind of a big hit on that last A through the bridge. So we try it with a bass down up down up. The E minor would have the low E string for the bass, and the F sharp E sus slash F sharp would have the low E string for your bass. So we tried our bridge with a bass down up down up. We have E minor, G, A, F sharp minor, E minor, G, A, and then kind of a big A. Or if we tried that with our 16th pattern, we'd have the E minor, into kind of our chorus for our outro. So kind of back to our G, A, G, A, E minor, A, G, A, now if you know the lyrics around these chords too, feel free to kind of take this lesson and kind of run with it any way you want to. Basics of how you can strum through Sleeping with a Friend by Neon Trees. So good luck!